Hi, I'm Kristina Knight. I went to Marshwood High School, and now I'm a sophomore at the University of Maine in Farmington. I've been going to Bethany ever since it was on the old campus back in Rye, and I was always involved with the church. My mom always put me in Sunday school. I was in the old nursery, so I've been coming to Bethany for a long time, and I was always involved with all the different Sunday school classes and stuff. And it hit me at 12 when I realized that what my parents had, their faith, had to become mine. And it wasn't their faith anymore. So at 12, I decided that I accepted God into my life as my Savior, and it wasn't just my parents' faith anymore. I decided for it to become mine. My involvement in Bethany Church has kind of been one of the main things in my life that I wanted. As a junior high student, I would always come to Wednesday nights and bring some friends along, just to get them plugged in and for them to see my passion for the church and just also my faith with God. So I would bring people to Wednesday night, and then I'd always be here Sunday morning, bright and early, ready for church to start. So I would always come to those, and then I also felt that God was calling me to go on the missions trips. So I went out to New York, which was really amazing. And then I also, the year after that, I went to West Virginia just because I felt God calling me to kind of go back and help out with the community. And just those two missions trips right off the bat, it was just like seeing God work within my life there, and just it allowed me to see that helping others also helped me to grow within my faith. I also made sure that I went to all the retreats. I loved going to the retreats. I'm guessing it's probably about 20 retreats I went to in my whole, from junior high to my end of my senior year. And just those going there helped me to see where God wanted me to be and helped me through difficult times. It also helped me to go through school knowing that I needed to be the light that others needed to see, and that really helped me with my faith in growing. As I went from junior high to high school, I knew I wanted to be more involved. I had watched my brother become a student leader, and I knew that my passion was heading that way, and that God really wanted me to help other students with their faith, and for me to kind of show them what my life had become with God. And so as a freshman, we weren't allowed to become student leaders. So right when my sophomore year started up, I decided to talk to Corey and get involved in the student leaders. And then Tim also had helped me to get work up to become a student leader. And so then I started helping out with a table on Sunday school. Mrs. Green was kind of running that table, and I would just help her out where she needed me to help her out. And then by the end of my sophomore year and into my junior year, I actually took the table over and I started to run that table, and I actually kept that table until my senior year, and it was just a great experience to help other students dissect what we had learned that Sunday morning, and just to kind of help them along on their walk with God. It was, for me, helping others also helped me to grow even more in my faith, and to see that just the ways God worked within just the normal events going on within Sunday school. Going through the decision of finding a school was not as difficult for me because I kind of applied to 5 schools. I looked at the cost of all the schools, and I kind of just started narrowing down where I wanted to go by that. And then I also looked at what I wanted to go to school for, and I ended up at the University of Maine in Farmington because it had the best education program for what I wanted to go and study in school for. So that kind of persuaded me to go to Farmington. So going into my first semester, I was kind of really nervous about what it was going to be like. And as I started going, I realized that the people that you meet your first few weeks or so, they're not going to stay your friends. They're just kind of those people that you need to have someone to sit at a lunch table with, you know? And so it was difficult for me because I couldn't figure out who needed to be my core group of friends, or who also shared the same beliefs as me, and who didn't want to go out and just party constantly because no parents were there. So, you know, you had the freedom. So I had to figure out who I could hang out with and who shared the same values as me, which was really hard being a Christian, trying to find someone else who didn't feel like going out and partying every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then hardcore on the weekends, you know? And so that was a struggle for me. And then as Sunday rolled around, searching for a church was hard. For a while my roommate came with me, but then she kind of got burnt out because it was just difficult trying to find a church, going to one church and having it full of just old people, and then just the crazy things you find in different churches when you're searching for a church that fits you best, which was hard for me. And I remember some days just being so fed up with it that I'd just pull up my computer and sit there and watch the service online, but it wasn't the same as having that interaction with friends. And so that was one of my most difficult things, is not being able to have that core community that I fit into. And so I struggled with that. I struggled with figuring out my friends and who I wanted to be with, because it was like, growing up I heard that your college friends are the ones that last forever. So it's like I wanted to find a group of friends that I knew would impact my life in a positive way and not a negative way. So I met this girl, Abby, and she actually, I don't know how we got on the topic, but we both found out that we wanted to go to IB. So we went to IB together, and it was interesting. We had actually missed an ice cream social that we didn't know about, and so we felt really left out. I didn't feel welcomed. I felt like it wasn't worth coming back, but being a student leader helped me know that you needed to reach out, and you can never let your first impression stop you from going again. Also, Tim had told me that I couldn't stop going the first time, that I had at least had to give it 4 times. So I knew that I had people back home wanting me to keep going. So I just kept going, and slowly but surely I started to feel a little connection, but I still felt like there wasn't something there. And it was weird because it was like I was struggling with God for not the first time, but it was more like, why wasn't he allowing me to get plugged in? And it was a hard time, like realizing that I had to put a ton of effort into feeling welcomed when church back home was so easy to like feel welcomed and to talk to people. It was like I had to put a lot of effort in, and it was like I realized just how much I had to work for my faith and how much harder I had to work at school to keep in my like Bible study and stuff. And it was like I looked at God and asked why IB felt that way. And even though it didn't feel welcoming right off, I kept going, and slowly but surely I started to make several friends with some IB students, which then helped me to figure out my group of friends and who I wanted to be closer with. Definitely one thing I would recommend for parents to help their students as they're going into college is to figure out and find a church with them. Because I know that was one of my struggles, is not getting connected right away kind of hindered me. But also encourage them. Keep encouraging them when they're frustrated with how IV could be. I know that if I just only went that one time and just kind of dropped out, who knows where I'd be. Just because I had that encouragement of people wanting me to go into, just keep going and to plug on, just keep going, trudge on. And so it's just knowing that I had that support of friends and family, just praying for me back home, just that helped me to keep going, and which ultimately basically helped me to stay concrete with God, and to, my mom would constantly be like, so how's your Bible study going, your own study? And so it was good having that, knowing that I had people back home who cared that I still stayed strong in my faith. So that was definitely one thing that helped me. Now, definitely something for new freshmen is that you gotta learn, it's the friends you make and the people you make are going to be the ones that impact you the most and that persuade you so much. And it's so easy to just kind of drop everything that you learned here in high school and just walk away from it all. And so it's one thing I'd say is just to find a group of friends that you know will help you become and keep the person you are. Help you grow in your faith, but also allow you to open up more too. Because I know the group of friends that I have now, my core group of friends, they have influenced me in a good way. And it's just great seeing how much you can change, but also how much God can change in you with the friends that you have. So that's just one thing I would say for seniors going into college, is just find a group of friends that you know share the same values as you and that won't persuade you into veering off and going the opposite way.